Welcome back, brothers and sisters. I am Braden. This is Langley Outdoors Academy, and thank you for stopping by. All right, guys, for tonight's episode, we are going to dive right back down to North Carolina. Now, North Carolina has been in the news a lot recently. It's been on this channel a lot as well. Just to give you a backstory, just to kind of brush you up if you haven't been here, North Carolina passed a repeal from the House and the Senate there because it's Republican passed or owned, and then it got vetoed by the governor. What they were trying to do is they were trying to repeal a 100-year-old law. They basically said you are required to go to your sheriff and get a permit before you can buy a handgun. They said it was duplicitous, which it is, and then the governor vetoed it. That's the backstory. But what's interesting is now the Democrats are coming out and saying, we want red flag laws, and while we're at it, we want to add rifles and shotguns to that permit requirement. So they're basically doing the inverse of what the Republicans had done. But keep in mind, Republicans own the House and the Senate by a large margin in North Carolina. So the big question of why comes into play, because the Democrats are not going to get this passed. We're going to talk about that right now. Everything is linked in the description box below, and I want to hear what you guys think on this, because this is going towards a much larger trend than just North Carolina, and I want to know what you guys think again. So let me know. But check it out. North Carolina Democrats renew push for red flag gun law. Now, red flag law is basically people say you shouldn't have guns. The court takes the guns away from you. You know, that's the tiny little nutshell, but that's the idea. House Democrats are pushing for the North Carolina General Assembly to debate two bills that would change gun laws in the Senate. Now, keep in mind, it's not even like these are voted like to pass to go to the governor. These are just trying to get out of committee. So it's like the very beginning stages, and they're pushing for it. But it's interesting why, because they don't have a prayer to get it passed. House Bill 525 would allow North Carolina residents to stop other people from obtaining a firearm in certain situations. House Bill 623 would require a permit for long guns or long-barreled guns, so shotguns or rifles. But that first one, 525, is a red flag law. But again, why? It doesn't make sense until you look at it from a different lens, and we're going to get there. HB 623 would require North Carolinians to apply for a permit from a local sheriff's office to buy a long gun or rifle. Current law requires North Carolina residents to seek a permit for pistols. The General Assembly recently passed a bill, which Governor Roy Cooper later vetoed, to eliminate the requirement. That's kind of what I said earlier. And this is where the Democrats start talking the basic talking points on gun control. This is common sense gun safety legislation. How many times have you heard that exact same phrase? To prevent suicides and gun violence, Representative Marcia Mori, Democrat Durham, said regarding HB 525, we need 61 members to get this bill debated. Now here's the part where the math just doesn't make sense for them. Republicans hold the majority in both chambers of the legislature. There are 52 Democrats and 68 Republicans in the House. Democrats have not been able to successfully move a bill forward from committee for the past 2 years. Representative Julie Von Haven, Democrat Wake, said last week during a news conference. Now, that's common knowledge, but keep in mind those numbers. The Republicans have 68 people. Democrats have 52. The Democrats need 61 to get this bill debated, even debated on the floor. But the Republicans just passed a bill that got vetoed supporting the repeal of these exact same things. So it has no chance of passing. So why do it? And that's what we're going to really talking, because that was the setup. Across the nation, we're seeing some very interesting things in relation to gun control. For example, we've covered every day for the last 9 months how gun control is waning and gun rights are growing. Biggest indicator is the incredible amount of firearms that are being purchased. But the Democrats doing this with zero chance of passing kind of signs that they have weakness and they are trying to shore up their base. This is important because just recently in North Carolina, all this momentum in these bills passed repealing common sense gun legislation, as they call it. So they need to put some bills out for when 2022 comes around and say, no, we put these bills out, just those darn Republicans. They've got to put the bills out, initiate the momentum, and then blame it on Republicans in 2022. They're trying to shore up their base. If you look elsewhere in this nation and the other races that have occurred, gun control is non-existent in Virginia. That doesn't make sense. If it was truly something that they needed to shore up and they could easily get, it wouldn't be nothing. They would be hitting on it. It's because their polling is indicating that gun control is not a good thing for them to hit right now. California, Newsom just came up and you didn't hear a word about gun control. The point is, these are their mainstay drums and they're not hitting on them. It doesn't make sense nationally. We're going to see more of this as it comes up. But in North Carolina right now, this is purely a vote grab. That's what this is. This is a shoring up of the Democratic baseline because they are in trouble from what you guys are doing for your gun rights. And that's what I have for you tonight. Let me know what you guys think, and I will see you tomorrow morning on the Bullet Points. I'm Braden, signing out.